And away we go on a edition today. Cecil Lammey riding solo and Andrew Mason on assignment. What is the perfect Broncos game plan to beat the Jets and to beat them the right way? We know that the Broncos are a superior team. We know that the Broncos should win this game, but how can they best do it? I've got some numbers to go over. I've got some plays to go over, and I've got some dreams, hopes to go over for your Denver Broncos here on a Saturday morning, early morning Sunday. So watch this one, think about it, get in bed early tonight so that you can get up bright and early with bells on. Not exactly sure what that means, but you're going to get up bright and early, and you're going to be there watching your Denver Broncos. I'll be here for you, of course, as well. Watching the Broncos in London take on the New York Jets. What is that game plan? What is the perfect game plan? What is the best game plan for the Denver Broncos? Here to talk about it today with you. It's Orange and Blue today. Again, Cecil Lammey riding solo. Andrew Mason on assignment. And yeah, Broncos country, what are you going to do when they run the ball? How are you going to stop them? How are you going to at least slow them down? Again, I'm going to go over some numbers with you about this contest and about what the Jets are. Now, looking over at the Jets and where they rank in points per game allowed, it's 31.4. That's not great, Bob. Points scored, it's 22.4. So the Broncos win 31-22. Broncos should win this one. What are they going to do? Worst in the NFL, turnover differential, and most in the NFL in terms of penalties. So what can they do? How can they kind of break this down? And how can the Broncos get that victory again in the way that they should get that victory? So I'm going to go over 4 segments here. What do you do when they run the ball? What do you do when they pass the ball with design plays? What do you do when you want to run the ball? What do you do when you want to pass the ball? All that and more. Today's show, again, OBT ABFD. Now, let's start with their ground game. I believe that's where it really begins. And if you look at Breece Hall is a star and a borderline superstar at the running back position. Nobody should be denying what Breece Hall can be. Now, the Jets are, slappies or whatever you want to say about the Jets. Don't say anything like that about a couple of their players, Breece Hall specifically, and then, of course, Garrett Wilson at the wide receiver position. But, yeah, Breece Hall can be a problem for this Broncos team. The Denver Broncos still really haven't proven that they can stuff the run. The Bengals don't really do that. The Chargers did, and they won. Now, not as good as they did, and then Hampton got hurt. But anyway, and the Bengals don't run. The Eagles avoided the run against them. I think that was a death knell for the Eagles in week 5. But it's week 6, and you're facing another star running back. Not on the level of Jonathan Taylor, but not that far off of what Taylor is. And when you look at Breece Hall, the favorite runs that they love to do, it's going to be to the right side, and it's going to be between the guard and the tackle on the right side. That's one of their favorite plays to go to and just hammer you on the right side and the right side and the right side. And it's Breece Hall. And it's not really student body right because it's not outside of the tackle, but it's between the tackles. Let the pursuit come up. Tackle sends you around. And then all of a sudden, Breece Hall darts right off the right hip of the right guard. And that's where he has the most success. So if you're the Denver Broncos, if you are Malcolm Roach, who should be out there, again, we'll know fully, man, if he's going to be in, Sunday morning, early, really early again. But you've got to have DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach. You've got to have John Franklin Myers. You've got to have Zach Allen. All of your interior defensive linemen, they need to be on point because it's coming at you. The Jets make no issues about running between the tackles. The Jets have no problems when it comes to running inside. And I really want to emphasize that in this section is that they are going to run inside on you. There will be some toss plays, whatever. There will be some space plays, mainly Justin Fields as a runner. More on that just a little bit. But as a runner with Breece Hall, it's going to be slamming it right up the gut. So be careful for that, usually on the right side. So be ready. If you're Jonathan Cooper, keep contained. Nick Benito, they may try to run at Benito. How do you slow down a pass rush? Draw plays and screen passes. Guess what the Jets are, want to be good at and want to be better at? Draw plays and screen passes. So be careful about that, especially with Benito rushing around the edge. It's much like the other side with Cooper. Maintain your discipline because they're trying to run underneath. They're trying to run where you were. So if you're Benito, be careful of that when they go to the left. And if you're Cooper, be careful of that when they go to the right. So make sure that you stay steady. You keep contained, keep the play inside of you, and don't get too far upfield and essentially kind of mush rush Justin Fields, because Fields as a runner is incredibly dangerous for this team. Fields is the type of runner, like he's a stronger Michael Vick. This is very dangerous for the Denver Broncos because people may say certain things about Fields as a passer, limited, what have you. We're going to go over the passing game for the Jets in just a little bit, but running the ball and stopping the run, stopping Justin Fields on the ground is paramount for the Broncos to have success in this contest. And that means mush rush. That means go upfield as far as he drops back and then tighten and then squeeze. Don't go all the way around. You're not going to play around the world, and you're not going to win that way against Justin Fields. If you try to run around him, then he is going to beat you, and he's going to be in a spot where he's just going to wait for you to do that, and then he's going to take off to run, using any opportunity to run the football. That's what Justin Fields will do, and you've got to be careful of that. He's got no issues with it. He's incredibly dangerous as a runner, and he's tough to bring down when he builds a head of steam because he's not a little runner. He's not one of those runners that you can swipe down with just a swipe at the ankles. He's the type of runner that can lower his shoulder. He can be a problem when it comes to that, outside running, when it comes to getting you off script, when it comes to really figuring out a way that your pursuit isn't going to work against Justin Fields. He's exactly the type of quarterback that can make plays against you on the ground. As a passer, a different story. Couple of targets you need to worry about. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But Fields as a runner outside the tackles, and then remember, watch out for his draw plays, because draw plays aren't just for Breece Hall. Isaiah Davis out there as well? No draw plays for Isaiah Davis. But you've got to watch out for that with Justin Fields, because it can be a design quarterback draw. He gets the ball, maybe it's 4 wide or whatever, and you've got your back to him. He gets the ball. It takes one step back, and then he takes off to run. Very, very dangerous as a runner. You've got to monitor that. It is Orange and Blue today. Cecil Lammey riding solo. Andrew Mason on assignment. Again, looking forward to having Mace back in action here in our boxes here on YouTube. We appreciate you all for watching, and make sure to like and comment. That really helps the algorithm. It tells YouTube that people like us. And we hope that you continue to like what we provide for you with the best Broncos coverage on YouTube. It is Orange and Blue today. Now, Jets, when they drop back to pass, 2 players to worry about. Garrett Wilson, kind of, because you imagine Pat Surtain will be on him, and Fields and Wilson, both college teammates. You'll see Wilson fire those downfield routes. He's a complete route runner, so I think you'll have some rub routes trying to get Pat Surtain off of him. You're going to have some double moves. If they can run the ball, this is where the double moves become very dangerous. The out and up is a thing they like to do on Surtain's side. So watch out for the out and up. It's going to be an out route. It's going to be an out route going to the left sideline of the formation. And all of a sudden that out route's going to turn into a go. So it's out and up. Watch out for that play. And the other play that the Jets can utilize against the Denver Broncos is right in the middle of the field. Right where Alex Singleton's at, or Justin Sternad. It doesn't really matter. They're both struggling in coverage, and that's where you're going to pick on if you're the New York Jets. Watch out for Auntie Chill, Mason Taylor. I know, Frank Gore Jr. said that, but we say it because of Joy Taylor. But Auntie Chill, Mason Taylor right there over the middle, a very talented young tight end. He's got size. He's got speed. He's got what scouts call my ball mentality. When it's in the air, it's his. So that's going to be a problem in terms of coverage for the Denver Broncos, and that's going to be a seam route. There can be a couple of deep concepts that work for the Jets. A lot of out routes, okay? Drag routes and out routes. That's what the Jets are going to do with Justin Fields. Then watch out for the out and up. Drag route's always kind of a drag route. Maybe it turns into a longer route at the end of the drag and you just take it upfield. Maybe, but you'd have to have a lot of time to do that. And, well, the Broncos aren't going to give you much time. So quick out, take a shot out and up, drag routes, real easy pitch and catch throws, and then seam rippers right down the middle of the field. That's where also a deep shot can come. Talanoa Hufanga, have your head on a swivel this week for the Denver Broncos. So watch out for Garrett Wilson. Watch out for Mason Taylor. You're going to have Josh Reynolds on Riley Moss. Riley Moss should have a good day. We'll see about that. We'll see if Riley can do that. I feel like the lone Riley Moss defender at times, but should be able to contain anyone else that the Jets can bring to the field in terms of their passing attack. If you're the Denver Broncos, you got to clean it up on the ground. Don't let play action be a thing. Don't give Justin Fields time, and make sure that you're taking care of Garrett Wilson, watching for the out and up, and watching for the drag routes and the rub routes. They're going to try to get Surtain off of him by rubbing the route and, kind of springing him open a little bit. And a big body like Josh Reynolds can do that if, in fact, there are crossers there for the Jets. Now, when they run the ball, when they pass the ball, the key's the game. Also, what about the Broncos when they want to run the ball? Is it R.J. Harvey's breakout? Maybe. J.K. Dobbins with another 100-yard game. Maybe. I'll get to how the Broncos run the ball, the plays that'll work against the Jets, how the Broncos should pass the ball, and maybe there's a new number 2 wide receiver. All that after a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at ramoslaw.com. All right, Denver Broncos, when you run the ball, what can work? Well, counter plays can work. We haven't seen as much counter as I would like. A lot of wide zone. The two most successful runs for the Denver Broncos are between Luke Wattenberg and Quinn Miners. Basically, your two gap, even numbers to the right, odd numbers to the left. So your two gap, that's the most successful run for the Denver Broncos. And then 3, 5, 7, your 7 runs on the outside of Garrett Bowles. Those are the two most successful runs for the Denver Broncos this year after 5 games. And I think that gives us a good tell of what you want to see. So how about a counter where it looks like it's to the right, and then obviously it goes to the left? J.K. Dobbins is excellent at a counter, and I really believe that R.J. Harvey can work well in that sort of play as well. Now, the thing that I appreciate, one, J.K. Dobbins doesn't waste motion. He has incredible balance, contact balance. He's hard to bring down, and you love the way he almost is a little bit, Le'Veon Bell-like, where he's flat-footed and then, bam, waits for that hole. Incredible patience from J.K. Dobbins. You want to see that continue against the Jets. It should continue against the Jets. With R.J. Harvey, you see that explosive play, so that's where a counter can come into play because you're going to get the defense to flow this way, and then, bam, you're going to cut it back the other way and go around the bend. Around Garrett Bowles' side is where the second most successful runs for the Denver Broncos are, and I believe that's where R.J. Harvey could come into play. Another one of those 50-yard runs, like in the Titans game, I could see that. I could see my mile high moment on Dover and Cecil on Fridays. We could do a mile high moment. Call your shot. Call the play. Call the player that everybody's going to be talking about on Monday. For me, that's R.J. Harvey. So is it Harvey's day to be the leading rusher for the Denver Broncos? We are fixing to find out. But counter plays are going to work. And just feed J.K. in the way that you've been doing it. Feed J.K. and he's going to show up and stand out for this Broncos team. So when you run the ball, and I'd also like to see Bo Nix, let's say as many as 5 rushing attempts for Bo Nix. I don't want him to go nuts. No 10 carries, 75 yards, or what did Jackson Dart have on Thursday night? Like 13 carries, something like that. So I don't think we need to see that for Bo Nix. I always get a little nervous when he gets over 5, 7, 8, 10, like he did against New Orleans. I don't really want that. I want Bo Nix to win as a passer more than a runner, but the running has to be part of the game because that's his game. His game is a dual threat quarterback. I want the Broncos to be able to use that threat. So JK's fine. Do what you're doing. A little more counter, please. Counter for RJ. Draw plays for RJ. That'll work there as well. And then Bo Nix take off to run and be dangerous as a runner as he can be. I expect the Broncos to do that. Now, Cortland Sutton versus Sauce Gardner. What's that matchup like? A lot of grabbing is going to go on from Sauce because he loves to grab the jersey and pull on it. So Sutton's going to have to get used to that, fight through that frustration of a guy essentially committing pass interference every time he's out there in coverage. Refs aren't going to call it. We'll see if, Sutton kind of fights through that. What kind of matchup is that? We're watching Surtain and Wilson on one side, and the argument about is Sauce Gardner the best corner in the league? I don't agree with that. I believe Pat Surtain is. And then Surtain getting that matchup against a great receiver in Wilson. Sutton getting a great matchup against Sauce Gardner. Again, you can move it against him. Use the size. Use the clutch ability that Cortland Sutton has, and Bo Nix looks for him in those tight moments where you just throw it up and let the big man go get it. That'll work for the Denver Broncos. So when they pass the ball, don't shy away from Sutton just because Sauce is there. Then who's the number two? I'm going to get to Evan Ingram in just a little bit. Maybe the answer is Evan Ingram there. I'll get to the backs as receivers in a little bit because maybe there's some screen passes. You'll be shocked to know screen passes are for Troy Franklin, but they're not working as well as you want. So is it time to move away from the screens with Troy Franklin? Is it time to move to more Marvin Mims? Is it time to move to a little bit more Pat Bryant while asking Troy Franklin to run more downfield routes? With that speed, my answer is yes, please. I would love that. I would love to see that for the Denver Broncos. So can you get that a little bit more against the Jets? But why did, and I talked about this on, I believe, Thursday's show, where Mike Kliss talked to him on Dover and Cecil, and Kliss just suggested, unprompted, that they might be looking for a number 2 wide receiver to step up. Well, that number 2 wide receiver to step up could be Marvin Mims. Could be just like last year. It takes him a little bit of time to get going. Then all of a sudden, bam, Marvin Mims is making big-time plays for you as a wide receiver. You're only going to do that as a return man. But now big plays as a wide receiver. Got to get him healthy. Keep him healthy. All those sorts of things. But make it happen with Marvin. Make it happen with Sutton primarily. But then find that number 2. Is it going to be Franklin? Is it going to be Mims? A dash of Pat Bryant? We're fixing to find out. And then Evan Ingram. Did they figure it out? And Sean Payton, to J.K. Dobbins' credit, J.K. said, hey, Sean will work with you. Sean takes a little time, figures out what you like to do, and then mixes into what he likes to do. So working in that mix, and we know the snap count, it's nothing. It's half, essentially, of what he was getting, Evan Ingram, that is, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that Jacksonville, he was getting like 72% of the snaps. In Denver, he's getting like 35-40% of the snaps, if that. So I look at it and I go, did they figure him out last week? Are we about ready to see more Evan Ingram? I would love to see it. That sort of weapon, that sort of joker, as George Payton said at the Combine. I've seen Sean Payton's offense with the joker, and they are dangerous. So be dangerous with Evan Ingram there. I would like to see that momentum that was built. Remember, momentum is an effect. It's not a cause. It's an effect. You've built that momentum with Evan Ingram. Continue that this week against the Jets. Put on a show for those Londoners out there. I'd love to see it with Evan Ingram there as well. And also the running backs out of the backfield. RJ Harvey, who's been close a couple of times with some big plays, potential big plays. Can't drop the ball, kid. And the team feels good about his pass protection. Behind the scenes, I will tell you, mentally, he's preparing in a way that the team wants him to prepare, because pass protection is knowing where the defense is coming from. And a lot of technique, but a lot of want to. But first and foremost, understand pass protection. And from what I know from the people I talk to, is that RJ Harvey is right where he wants to be, right where they want him to be in terms of the mental side of the game when it comes to pass protection. So do all of these things, combine it into a Broncos win. I believe on air I said 28-13, something like that. The Broncos win this thing. Feels kind of like the Bengals game. To do that, you need to follow this game plan. So remember those inside runs for the Jets. Remember that out and up with Garrett Wilson. Remember the drag routes. Remember your counter plays, I think could work against the Jets. Remember how you have the success between Wattenberg and Miners. You're not going to go away from that. And then, of course, utilizing more Evan Ingram, finding out if Marvin Mims, who's that number 2 receiver, steps up. That's how the Broncos win on Sunday morning in London, London, London. It's a wrap for Saturday's show. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's go Broncos. I'll be joining you after the game, of course, in the Orange Blue Today post-game live edition, but it'll be about 10:30, I believe, is when I'll start. So be ready for that. I'll have my coffee ready. Where's my coffee? I always have beautiful Colorado mug. I'm from Colorado. I always have that at the ready. So see you Sunday morning, everyone. Again, Cecil Lammey rolling solo, Andrew Mason on assignment. Be good to get Mace back as soon as we can. And certainly love you guys for helping us grow our Denver Sports YouTube channel. Again, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a vid. And we appreciate you very much. I'm Cecil Lammey saying OBT is a BFD. You know what that means. Stay tuned and stay frosty, baby.
For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos country.
Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team.
And now, we are honored to be the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos.
Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.